When I'm sleeping at night, I want to be able to make money still. I want to know that like when I stop playing this sport, because it does stop one day, I'll be able to be set for life.
Angel Reese promised a dynasty, but WNBA free agency just exposed her as the league's biggest fraud. Every superstar rejected her. Teammates abandoned her. Even Chicago's golden child, Juel Lloyd, chose Vegas over Reese's sinking ship. This isn't just failure, it's the most humiliating collapse in sports history. Today, we're dissecting exactly why nobody wants to play with Angel Reese. Grab your popcorn. This autopsy is about to get messy. It's official. Angel Reese's super squad fantasy has failed. She boasted about bringing in the best players in the league and promised Chicago would become a dominant force. Today, reality has hit harder than a buzzer beater that may win a game. Plum, Kelsey, signed with Lay. Lloyd, Juel, Vegas is running. Griner, Brittany, building in Atlanta. Reese's concept was not embraced by any of the top players. The message is unmistakably clear. The judgment was embarrassingly biased in favor of winning franchises over Angel's ego trip. Chicago is a last resort, not a destination. Why did things go so horribly wrong? Did Reese think too highly of herself? Did she turn off potential colleagues with her incessant self-promotion? Or was Reese's significance entirely eclipsed by Caitlin Clark's quick ascent? Chicago has not only had a terrible free agency season, but it has also been a historic humiliation. Please hit the like button and subscribe before we start the slaughter. Our coverage of what may be the most stunning collapse in the WNBA's history is something you won't want to miss. This narrative is becoming more interesting by the minute, we assure you. Go back a few months. With the assurance of someone who had already won several titles, Angel Reese promised championships and super teams, exuding a sense of basketball royalty. She was so sure that stars would come to Chicago that she literally planned the paths of championship parades. If not so terribly mistaken, the daring was almost laudable. Reese pretended that the WNBA needed her more than she needed the league, in addition to talking a big game. In the most visible way imaginable, that conceit is now returning to haunt her. The grim reality: not only did Reese's recruitment approach fail, it backfired catastrophically. She greatly exaggerated her attraction to other players, as well as her impact. Imagine this. Angel is already writing Instagram posts for her super team announcement, while relaxing at home with her phone in hand. She sends SMS to all of the league's prominent names, certain that they will be thrilled to join her. If the confidence weren't so horribly misguided, it would be astounding. Not only was she rejected, but the players she relied on were completely silent on the radio. There were no answers for days. Weeks later, other than the odd spam notice, Reese's phone remained strangely silent. She was being avoided, not ignored, as the truth started to set in. Reese's ideal backcourt teammate and a seasoned winner, Kelsey Plum, didn't simply say no. She made the decision to join the Sparks without hesitation. Picture Reese's expression when she discovered Plum would choose to be Laz's sidekick than Reese's co-star. The tone for the most humiliating offseason in WNBA history was established by that painful rejection. Juel Lloyd's choice was even more devastating. Lloyd, a native of Chicago, was Reese's greatest opportunity to play a hometown hero. Angel surely imagined their dynamic team stealing the show on highlight reels and headlines. Lloyd instead sped out for Vegas after taking one glimpse at the chaotic state of affairs in Chicago. This was a scathing critique of Reese's leadership, not only a rejection. It's time for some serious introspection when even local celebrities are unwilling to work on your project. However, Reese has never been very good at self-awareness. The rejection of Brittany Griner may have caused the most pain. With the exception of Angel Reese, the dunking legend had every reason to think about Chicago. Griner opted for Atlanta's reconstruction rather than Reese's circus. After the quick departure of Alyssa Thomas to Phoenix, Reese's own teammate Brianna Turner defected to Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever, which was the last insult. There is no more obvious symbolism. Players would prefer to play with Reese's opponent than with her, in addition to being embarrassing.
Unfortunate announcement out of Chicago. Angel Reese's rookie season is over.
This degree of rejection is unheard of in WNBA history. Let's examine the reasons behind Reese's pitch's catastrophic failure. First, her self-centeredness. Plum and Thomas are examples of winners who choose teammates above attention-seeking divas. Second, the disorganized front office in Chicago. Astute gamers steer clear of precarious circumstances. Third, the blank resume of Reese. Despite having no rings, she talks about titles. Reese's alleged competitor, Caitlin Clark, is shattering records and drawing talent in the meanwhile. There is no greater contrast. Reese pushes her brand while Clark lets her game speak. One strategy creates candidates, while the other creates laughingstocks. With its feet, the league has cast its vote. Reese's offseason has been so awful that it's nearly remarkable. Not only did she fail in free agency, but she was not given the opportunity to bat at all. Before talks started, she was turned down by all the important players. The handful who did participate did so just out of politeness and not out of curiosity. Clark's Fever, meantime, are obtaining sponsorships and filling arenas. Sky of Reese. They're turning into a joke in the league. The lesson: greatness is attracted to humility and repelled by arrogance. Bravado and trash talk were key components of Reese's brand. She is now discovering that those techniques are ineffective when forming a team. The most incriminating aspect: this collapse was expected. Professional basketball sources cautioned that Reese's behavior would not be acceptable. When interacting with mature ladies who appreciate professionalism, college antics don't transfer. Reese confused clout on social media with actual influence. Genuine leaders, such as Sue Bird or Diana Taurasi, never had to plead with their colleagues to join them. Their superiority did the recruiting. Reese's failure is due to maturity rather than skill. She will continue to watch celebrities pick other teams until she understands the difference, and Clark's fame will only increase. Now what is left for Reese? There is nothing in the free agency pantry. Her reputation has suffered greatly. It appears that even the front office in Chicago is reluctant to completely support her. She needs to be brutally honest in order to go forward. She needs to own up to her faults, improve, and most importantly, let go of her pride. The substitute. Turning into a warning about unrealized potential, the WNBA community is undoubtedly keeping an eye on things. Now, every game, every interview, and every practice will be closely examined. If Reese is modest enough to start, the hard job begins now. The irony: if she allows it, this catastrophe may potentially salvage Reese's career. Character is revealed by adversity, and at this moment, she has the upper hand. She may either complain about being passed over or take it as motivation to do better. Players who rise to greatness in the face of failure are remembered by history. Michael Jordan was motivated by slights. Kobe Bryant used criticism to win games and win titles. Reese must now make the crucial decision of whether to adopt their model or continue with the mindset that led to this debacle. Her life's most significant event was the 2024 season. Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, keeps climbing. Clark is being compared to Larry Bird, while Reese is having trouble retaining colleagues. She is selling more jerseys than ever before. There are several national TV games in the Fever's calendar. Her competence and work ethic are being praised even by veterans. There is no greater glaring contrast with Reese. Not only is Clark's achievement personal, but it also draws attention to Reese's flaws. Every Clark highlight, Fever victory, and sold-out arena serves as a reminder of the different course Reese could have chosen had she put basketball before branding. Reese has to face this unpleasant reality. She's not competing with Clark. Real opponents are on an even playing field. At the moment, Reese is having trouble with checkers, while Clark is playing chess. While the Sky are fighting for relevance, the Fever are creating something unique. This is a master lesson on how to, and how not to, develop a WNBA career, not a rivalry. The good news? The seasons shift. This story can still be changed by Reese. However, acknowledging that she has been outperformed in both the game of legacy building and on the court is the first step. The overall picture? A league-wide reality is reflected in Reese's failure. The WNBA prioritizes substance above swagger. Players don't care about propaganda. They admire production. Reese made a mistake by assuming that her pranks at LSU would be acceptable to pros. Performance, not bluster, is what veterans like Candace Parker and Breanna Stewart left behind. Reese will continue to lose these conflicts until she comprehends the distinction. The bright side: she's not too old to learn. However, time is running out. Reese had to adjust to Clark's new definition of stardom or risk losing her place in the league she had aspirations of controlling. To be clear, Angel Reese's story is far from over. Early difficulties plagued many great musicians. It was reaction that separated those who recovered from those who waned. Will Reese see this as an opportunity to do better or as a reason to go back? She's still trash-talking while Clark racks victories, so the early signals are not encouraging. However, the season has not yet begun. There is still time to alter the story. The first action: recognizing the truth. Her free agency catastrophe was self-inflicted rather than the result of bad luck. The rebuilding process can only start after that. The most intriguing aspect: this is not just a Reese story. It concerns women's basketball's development. Being competent, marketable, and professional, Clark embodies the new generation. Reese is the epitome of the traditional method. Go over the basics. Through its sponsorships, attendance, and coverage, the league is casting its votes. Reese has the option to advance in the game or fall behind. Adapters are favored by history. She's not riding the flow at the moment. She's battling it. Her humiliation as a free agent shows that's a lost struggle. Will she take any lessons from it? Reese has to realize that basketball is a team sport. Great athletes don't alienate people. They uplift them. Magic Johnson improved teammates. Lisa Leslie set the standard. Reese, she has turned into a warning against individuality in a group game. Until she learns to put we before me, success will continue to elude her. The good news? These problems are resolvable. Fixing, however, calls for humility, which is precisely what Reese's brand has lacked. She will face her most difficult test to date in the 2024 season, demonstrating that she is more than just a talker when the chips are down. Keep in mind that sports adore comebacks. As we conclude this autopsy, Reese has the potential to write a remarkable tale of redemption if she uses her humiliation as a catalyst for personal development. However, it begins with harsh self-evaluation. No more assigning blame. No more pretentious claims. Simply work harder and make better decisions. The substitute. Seeing Clark's legend flourish as hers diminishes. One route leads to regret, while the other leads to respect. Reese has the upper hand. Will she step up to the plate or continue to act dysfunctionally? In any case, we'll be here to chronicle every dramatic turn, so stay tuned. Let's address Reese fans before we leave. This is honesty, not hatred. Real progress necessitates confronting difficult realities. There is no denying Reese's brilliance. However, undirected skill squanders potential. She must decide whether to stay in her own hype or develop into the player her abilities permit. The WNBA needs stars, but stars who improve the game. Therefore, the decision is important. Clark is contributing. Reese now has to choose between being a footnote in the league's history and helping it grow. It's her turn next. Agree? Disagree? Sound off in the comments. Smash like if you're invested in this WNBA drama, and subscribe for the most unfiltered basketball coverage online. The Reese Clark saga is just heating up. You won't want to miss what happens next. See you in the next video.